Hi friends! I am back to making amigurumi this week because I got a commission from a friend, and his brother, I am pretty sure he does not watch my videos, but he is a big Final Fantasy fan, and one of his favorite characters is Cloud. And so a friend of mine wants to give him Cloud as a plushie, a handmade plushie for his, not for his birthday, for Christmas. So I just got started on that, but before I started, I made this little mushroom guy because I wanted to get my hand warmed up with a bigger yarn. If you've seen my last video, I have used cotton yarn for the last 2 weeks for making a dish towel and 2 dishcloths, and that was so much fun. And I love trying new different yarns, but don't we all have our comfort yarns that we love coming back to? Oh my goodness. Both, this is actually a velvet yarn. This is a stucco velvet from Amazon. And it was so fun working with it. It was just so smooth and buttery. So this was a great little project to finish because I started this for LEP3 for the event where I had a market table at. This was supposed to be one of those little $10 mushrooms there. I did not finish it in time, so it was just hanging out on my yarn stash, half finished, and I just couldn't let him go. I couldn't give up on him, and I thought it was a perfect little project to finish real quick before getting into the commission. This is a very interesting pattern. I'm gonna link the picture and pattern designer right here so you can look it up. And this one, I've never done this before, but they start the head like with dolls. Normally you just start the head like the round shape, but this one starts off with this, I don't even know what to call it, but yeah, you start out with that part and then you kind of go into the front loops only, flip it around, or flip it, go into front loops only, and then from there you will create the head shape. So I'm very intrigued to see how that turns out, and I'm gonna check in with you later after I have an update on my progress. It is the next day, and I am almost finished with Cloud's head. I only have to close the gap up here. But I'm really excited to see how it turned out. It looks kind of cute. I added a little bit of blue. Cloud has blue eyes, and I thought it would be cool if we can reflect that in his character, and especially because he's sort of an anime character. I know they're more leaning towards realism, but still I consider him an anime character. I used the biggest safety eyes that I have. Those are 16 millimeters. And again, added just that blue. And I think it's not, those are not sinker eyes, but I think they do look really cool. And I am so surprised to see how much I like this gap, this method they use to create the lower head shape. I don't know if it would have turned out differently if you just do a regular, your magic ring and work it up to this shape, but it gives it this, like, I can almost not describe it, but it gives it such a nice shape down here. And the pattern did say to fill it with polyfill to keep that shape, so I'm still not sure what the exact purpose is, why someone came up with that, but I really like this seamless, just how the shape of the head turned out. And again, very fitting for like anime characters that have these big heads and big eyes. And yeah, I'm so far really intrigued to see how the pattern is going to turn out in the end. Also, I figured if I film during the day, I love like the natural sunlight coming in, but I do feel like the back of my, like the closet needs some sort of other light source. So I did add that mini light up there, but it's not doing a lot. I love the fairy lights around it, but I feel like there needs to be something in the back that still lights it up from the back. So I have to become a little creative with that, but that's just for a future project right now. It's totally fine. Yeah, but so happy so far how this head is turning out, and I'm gonna check in with you guys a little bit later when I've made more progress on this project. Okay guys, I just finished the body and now I kind of understand where this is going with the head and the hole in the head. Although I don't really know why you're supposed to stuff it. I think you have to take the stuffing out later. I mean, the pattern says stuff it to keep the shape, so I'm assuming you take the stuffing out later. And the body looks like this. So you also crochet like a really long neck like this. And then I think, hang on. So this is the neck and this is the head, and later take a stuffing out and then this goes on top of here. And then I think the pattern says to like just crochet through both of them, almost like you're sewing it on but on the inside. And I thought that was such a cool, interesting concept I've never seen before, and I'm so excited to try it and to see what it looks like. The only problem is, it's gonna be really hard to stuff this part. It's really, like the opening is so little. I don't know how to stuff it because the stuffing will stabilize it, but it's just gonna be really a lot of work to put stuffing in there. I think it's okay. It's gonna be fine. You just have to go slow. And that's a theme on this channel here. We go slow. We don't rush. Oh, there you go. You just use the other end of your hook. So you put some stuffing in there and then you use the other end of your hook to just push the stuffing down the throat. This is always so fun, learning something new. That's what lights me up when I crochet, and that's a challenge, and sometimes it goes wrong. But when you learn something new like this and that you could use in a future project, it's just, I don't know, I love it. It's like the lifelong learning journey that we're all on. Because that's what life's all about, right? Like learning new things actually makes you happy. And I think when we're all students, sometimes it can feel like you have to study so much and learn so much, and you're just like, I don't want to study anymore. It's because you study every day, you learn something every day. And once you're an adult and you kind of like set in your, I mean, even though as an adult you have to learn so many things that were not taught in school. So definitely always a learning experience too. But sometimes we can get stuck and we stop learning new things, or we get too comfortable and we're like, oh, I just want to do it the way I always did it because it's just too uncomfortable to learn something new. And having a hobby like this really pushes you to learn new stuff. That's why people pick up gardening, crocheting, knitting. All I'm saying is I'm so happy I tried this pattern because it taught me something new. I still have to see how it works out, but yeah, it makes me feel like it gives me more tools in the future, because one day I want to design my own patterns too. Right now I feel like I'm still on the learning curve. I have one tiny little pattern that I want to put up here as a tutorial that I made, but it's really, really easy. That's how you get started, right? And then I modify some of my patterns already, but I don't feel confident enough to put out a pattern of my own yet, but I definitely want to get into that. So I'm so excited that when I learn something new, again, this becomes a part of my toolbox and that I later can pull out when I design more. So anyway, let's get back into the pattern, back into crocheting, and I'll catch you up later. I'm gonna whisper a little bit because baby was sleeping just a second ago, and the second I started talking, he literally woke up. Well, he was napping for a long time. So we are done with all the small different body parts and clothes, and we have the arms and like a skirt part, a little shoulder patch, and his sleeve. And now, right now, I'm working on the hair, and it's really interesting about the hair. Let me pull this out a little bit. Wow, on camera, this yellow looks really good. We are working in different layers, and compared to the other dolls that I've done so far, the hair is way thicker because it's supposed to be this anime style hair. That's why we have to work in 5 different layers. And it's gonna be really interesting how that's going to work out. The hair is the last part, so after I'm done with all the layers, then we should be ready to sew. This is where we're at. So we crocheted all the layers for the hair, and here's the main layer. So there's the first layer, and you crochet the second layer directly on, so that's like the base, and then you have 3 more smaller layers. Here's one, then here's just one little curl and that's going to be on the top of the head, and then there's the third one. So I'm not sure, in the original pattern the yarn doesn't curl as much as mine does, so this is Parfait Chunky. I think they used some kind of acrylic yarn for the original pattern, and the hair looks much straighter as it's supposed to be. But we're going to hopefully solve this problem by sewing it onto the head. And the most important part of this is using these safety needles, safety pins. I'm not even sure what they're called. But yeah, we're going to attach the base layer with these to the head and then see what it looks like. So I almost got done pinning the hair, strands of hair from the first layer all the way around. I was pretty happy with it. Then I realized in this pattern you should attach the head first to the body, because apparently you need to put your stitches through the head, and of course you don't want to see the skin color yarn on top of the hair. So what I'm doing now, I actually looked at the order of assembly, how it is laid out in the pattern. So I'm doing the body first. I attached one arm, I'm attaching the other arm, and then we'll attach the head to the body first, and then actually get to the hair. So start in the wrong order. I have to switch gears and assemble everything else first, and then the hair. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. So it is a few days later, and I'm checking in with you. I am done with Cloud, pretty much. The only thing that's missing is his very important accessory. But I want to give you a recap on, well, I want to show you how he turned out, and then give you a recap on how it worked out with that new technique, connecting the head to the body and the hair and everything. So this is the finished Cloud right here. So first of all, the hair. is always the most nerve-wracking thing to crochet on, because if the hair is wrong, then the whole plushie is wrong, and it's so difficult, in my opinion, to remove hair without destroying the whole thing. So I'm really pleased with how his whole hair turned out, and again, it's very anime style hair, so that's why it's like thicker strands of hair. Yeah, I'm actually really pleased. It felt so random when I read the pattern. It would go like randomly from increase double crochet to decrease half double crochet, but it makes sense. It's to get the curvature right. It just felt like somebody's trying to test me if I could read the pattern right, and because you had to pay so much attention to which stitch is next. There's almost no repetition, and every strand of hair was different. So wow, shout out to the pattern designer. That is, in my opinion, like really impressive to design that and have that in mind, like how the end product, the hair turns out with all these different stitches. So yeah, that was really cool, and I'm very pleased with the hair of Cloud. Now, I don't know if you can see it though. The only thing that I'm not happy with, I was first really excited about this new technique. You leave a gap, like a hole almost, inside the head, and you crochet on a really big neck that goes, you insert inside the head, and then you attach, almost like it gave voodoo doll vibes when I was attaching the head to the neck, because you would just stab the plushie with your needle every single time, like through the neck part, and that felt a little weird, I'm not gonna lie. But the only thing is, and I'm certain with acrylic yarn that would not be an issue, and probably it isn't because the designer didn't have an issue, but with plush yarn, the head is very unstable and floppy. So I was like, oh no, what am I gonna do? So my solution now, and we're gonna try on camera live if this actually works, and I'm gonna be a little less loud because Lukey was moving. This is something I've never tried before, but I ordered these bamboo skewers. So they're 6 inches long, and oops, I'm gonna try and insert it into the plushie, into the neck, and see if that helps keep the head straight and get rid of the floppiness. That's crazy. It actually works. I think it works. Obviously, you never want to do this if you design or if you make plushies for little children, because they could get hurt, or even pets. But if I tell them, like, be careful, there is a skewer inside to hold the head up, it is crazy. It actually works. Like, it really works so well. Look, it's not floppy, almost not at all anymore. I only inserted one, and it really gives it a good backbone. I'm really happy how it turned out. I'm actually so proud of myself. That is awesome. I'm so happy how this turned out. And first time trying this. So cool. All right, I think now the last thing we have to do is crochet his big sword. It is Lukey's nap time, so perfect time to record, but I did get done with Cloud, and here he is with his sword. I am very happy how he turned out, and especially with the sword, because, sorry, my neighbors are actually doing something outside. I don't know if they see me film. That'd be kind of funny. So now, it is all the parts are done, and he mostly wears it on his back. So I asked my customer, should I just attach it to the back? And unfortunately, I wish I would have thought of this sooner. He made a good point, like, what a great idea. I didn't think of it. How cool would it be if I attached a magnet inside of the sword and on the inside of his plushie, and so you could just attach it and detach it whenever you want to. But I didn't think of that, so now it's too late, and I have to think of a way to attach it to the back, but not permanently, I think. Yeah, I'll have to think of a way creatively to attach it to the back. Here's your sword. Maybe the blade away from you. There we go. So, recapping this project, it was definitely a challenge. Still, all dolls are somewhat of a challenge. Every time I crochet on the hair, I'm sweating my butt off. It is never easy because if you get the hair wrong, you get everything wrong. So yeah, that was definitely a challenge. The body itself was cool, was fun. I like the anime style of it. So the big head, the big eyes, I think it looks really cute. Yeah, and I'm so happy that I learned something. Even though it first was a little bit of a fail with the head and the neck, inserting the neck into the head, I still made it work with the skewers. And through that, I mean, I learned something new. I learned that I can use those to make plushies like that more stable. Even using it for, not sure, like longer, bigger plants or like a tree, Christmas tree. I actually, one of my next projects is going to be a Christmas tree, so maybe that will come in handy for the Christmas tree too. We'll see. So yeah, I am actually very, very happy with how it turned out and with how much I learned. I think this has been the driving factor behind creating commissions, because often you will get commissioned items that you don't necessarily want to make or thought of making, and it really challenges you to think outside of the box and crochet outside of your comfort zone, definitely. So I don't think I would have seen so much growth in my skill as a crocheter had I not accepted these projects. Like, I think, yeah, I wouldn't have dared to make crochet dolls myself if I just crocheted whatever I wanted to crochet. So I would definitely recommend, especially if you're starting out, to accept commissions, even if it feels uncomfortable at first, but you will definitely learn something. And also you will strive to make it the best product you can, so you will naturally come up with more. Oh no. Okay, I have to whisper a little bit more because Lucas just woke up, and I'm not sure if it was because he was trying to find the right position or if I was being too loud. So to wrap things up, this was an amazing challenge, and I think, again, I would advise you to, just take on commissions to challenge yourself if you're still at the beginning of your crochet journey, and because you will definitely go out of your way to make this the best product you can. Your mind will just think more creatively and find ways to make it work. I'm excited. I already have my next project that came in, which will probably be the last commission I'm gonna do this year, which is a Christmas tree, a small one in an amigurumi style, and I'm so excited to make it for a good friend of mine. So yeah, we'll see. That you will probably see that in one of the next videos. I have a couple of different ideas for the next few videos, so definitely stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching, for subscribing and commenting. Love you guys so much, and bye.